SeptemberCorp.
In this last decade, biology has shifted from being a descriptive science to an engineering science. We've begun to treat the code of life not as an inevitable destiny, but as software that can be reprogrammed. However, the greatest obstacle is not biological, but psychological. There is a phenomenon known as learned helplessness, illustrated by the fable of the elephant. Being unable to escape a stake when it was small, the adult animal does not try to flee, even though it now possesses the strength to uproot that stake. Humanity suffers from this same bias toward death. For millennia, finitude was an inevitable constant. In response, we developed a culture that accepts and even sanctifies biological decline. But that stake is no longer firm. What we once called natural law, we now identify as a series of discrete and theoretically reversible biological processes. Today, we understand aging not as a mystical process, but as the accumulation of specific damages. Scientists have identified the hallmarks of aging: telomere attrition, genomic instability, and the accumulation of senescent cells, or zombie cells. Current milestones are tangible: partial cellular reprogramming. Inspired by Yamanaka Factors, labs like Altos Labs, with investments exceeding $3 billion, have already succeeded in rejuvenating tissues in living organisms without causing tumors. Senolytics, drugs that selectively identify and eliminate the old cells that inflame our bodies, extending functional health in mammalian models. AI and proteomics. Artificial intelligence is predicting protein structures in seconds that used to take us years to decipher, accelerating the discovery of molecules that slow down cellular degradation. Critics often appeal to catastrophist arguments, overpopulation or boredom. But the data tells a different story. Aging is the cause of 80% of chronic diseases in the world today. Treating aging at its source is not just a desire to live longer, it is the only solution to prevent the collapse of healthcare systems. Historically, every technological advancement, from vaccines to the railroad, was met with similar fears. However, history shows that increased longevity has always gone hand in hand with greater prosperity and a reduction in birth rates, allowing for more sustainable resource management. We are close to reaching long-duty escape velocity, the point where science adds more than 12 months of life expectancy for every year that passes. It is not the time for resignation, but for investment and awareness. If we accept death by default, we are condemning present generations. If we decide to fight, we can be the last generation to see their loved ones wither away. The technology is here. The strength is here. All that remains is for the elephant to finally decide to pull the rope.